أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين. اللهم وفقنا وسائر المشتغلين للعلم والعمل الصالح بمحمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Now we are studying with Islamic beliefs, this book for Sheikh Muhammad Ridha al-Muzaffar rahmatullahi alayh. And we reach to the religious duties, what we believe in religious duties. We believe that Almighty Allah does not command His servant with any duty before His established evidence on them concerning that duty. It means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never asked His creatures, mankind, to do some acts without what? Without making the evidence on such act. Like what? Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He asked mankind to pray 5 times. So to pray 5 times, it means that mankind is able to pray or to perform 5 prayers each day. It is not something beyond their scope, or they cannot do it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when ask people, for example, to go to pilgrimage to Mecca, it means that if they have the ability of traveling to Mecca, they should go. But if they don't have the ability to go to Mecca, they cannot go, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't ask them and won't punish them if they don't go to pilgrimage because they don't have ability. For example, they don't have money, if they are sick, so they cannot go to Mecca. And He never commands them to do something that is beyond their scope or capability, because it would be unfair to impose upon a weak or an ignorant person who has not shown shortcoming in seeking of knowledge, a duty that is beyond his or her scope. If, for example, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks a person to pray, and his prayers should be where? Should be in the air. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, definitely Allah won't ask people like doing something like that. But let's suppose this. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks a person to pray to Him, to worship Him, while he is in a state of what? Of flying in the air. So is that acceptable? Absolutely, that is what? That is not acceptable. Why that is not acceptable? Because mankind doesn't have the ability of what? Of flying. He doesn't have what? Wings to fly. He is not like a bird. Okay? So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks him to fly and pray while he is flying, that means Allah is what? Is unjust. That Allah is unjust. How we say that is Allah is unjust? Because He asks something from a mankind, and this thing is beyond the scope of mankind, beyond the capability of the mankind. So, for example, if you come to your child and to your kid and ask him to go and work and bring you money, that will be not fair, and it is unjust, because the kid cannot work and cannot obtain money like the adults. You see that? For this, if you ask the kid to work and to bring money to you, that means you are what? You are unjust. And you dealt with that kid unfairly. So the same thing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks his creatures to do something, and that thing is beyond their scope, scope, and they cannot do it under their capability. So it is difficult. It is difficult, and it will be that Allah is what? Allah is unjust. Unjust because He deals with His creatures unfairly. And while Allah is the just. Allah is just. Okay? Yes. As for the ignorant who have made short the seeking of knowledge of religious laws and duties, they are definitely responsible in the view of Almighty Allah, who will punish them for their failure to do what ought to have been done. Actually, each one is required to learn the amount that one needs from religious laws. According to us, if we were ignorant, we have to study, we have to learn. Why we have to learn? In order to know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted exactly from us to do. Because if I am ignorant, I don't know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exactly wants from me. Yes, I read Quran, but I don't know the exact meaning from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted from me to do. So here in this situation, for ignorant people, they have to study, they have to learn, they have to check out in order to know the meaning, in order to know the goals of Allah. Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Tfadhal, Shaykh. Yes. So, Sakum Allah bil khair. So, each person has to learn, has to study in order to know what exactly Allah wanted from him. So we also believe that it is unavoidable for Almighty Allah to commission His servants to carry out certain duties and legislate for them a body of laws that achieve success and prosperity for them, guide them toward the paths of goodness and permanent happiness, and show them the ways of what? Of probity. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, let's suppose that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks from people, for example, our example, to pray while they are what? While they are flying, and they don't have the ability of what? Of being flying. So, as a result, the people won't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people won't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as a result, because they don't obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they deserve what? They deserve to be punished, and they will be what? Because they are disobedience, they will be in hell. But this is not the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created us, He wanted from us to reach to the level of what? To level of perfection. As a result for that, we will deserve what? To be rewarded and to go where? To heaven, to paradise. But if Allah deals with us unfairly, with unjust, so nobody will go to where? To paradise. All mankind will go to what? To hell. Wal-'iyadu billah. Through such duties and laws, Almighty Allah restrain them from whatever brings about corruption, harm, and a terrible, and even if He already knows that they would not obey Him, because such does and don't stem from His kindness and mercy to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He needs from mankind to obey Him. Is to obey Him for what? Not because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeking for their worshipping, for their worship. No. Because if they do so, if they worship Him in such way, they deserve to be rewarded and to be where? In heaven. If they don't, they deserve to be what? They deserve to be in hell because they disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah, yes.
Disobey is benefit for the people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like make haram meeting of meat of pig.
Yes.
Eating meat of pig.
Exactly.
Or like drinking of like because that make it disease.
Yes. What you are saying that all the orders of Allah which are obligatory to us to do it, it is as a result will bring benefit to mankind. And what muharram, what prohibited things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevented us from doing it, it will bring what? It will bring bad to us. For that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you have to obey me and you have to follow my orders. And as a result, that you will what? You will find my mercy, you will find my kind at the end. I will reward you because whatever you obey me, I will reward you. I will reward you in the future. If you disobey me, you deserve to what? You deserve to be in hell. Not because of me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because of Allah, but because of what? Of your sin, because of your obedience. So, the servants of Almighty Allah are usually unaware of most of their interests. Definitely, brothers, we see now many people, they ask, why, for example, we wipe at our heads? Why we wipe our feet? Instead of that, why we don't wash our heads? Why we don't wash our legs? This is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't know what is the interest behind that.